Rightio, Joy. How's about that for our new intro?
Hey, coming up in the world.
Coming up
You
in the
make
world?
that. You played that yourself?
Yeah, I actually contacted Morgan Wallen, Chris Stapleton, a few of them, and they all got together and they wrote it.
And they just
sent
jammed it up
back.
for you.
Yeah,
yeah.
sent it
You
straight
did the
back
lyrics
over.
though, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yep.
It had you written all over
Oh,
it.
you can hear it.
You can hear it.
Every tune in, it gets a corner of
And
the
the
week.
What's going on?
Oh, we got a bit on
Hey,
today.
we got a bit on. It's all falling apart at the seams right now.
Yeah, but we might.
You've got a limp. I've got the sniffles.
Limp Biscuit.
Oh, it's sniffling our way to the podcast royale.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Podcast Royale, we're not too far off now.
No,
So,
26th of this month.
Yeah.
This month. Far out. I'm gonna have to start training.
Might have to. I was going to call someone, but I might wait a little bit because I told them a certain time.
Yeah, sweet. Wait a certain time then.
Yeah.
They can wait.
Yeah, they can wait.
How's your training going? The limp looks good.
Yeah, Limp Biscuit.
Yeah.
No, apparently when you get old, stuff doesn't work
No,
anymore.
no, it doesn't, brother. It doesn't. Calves, hamstrings, hips, backs.
All
decks.
up here's good.
Yeah.
My legs are like, hey, can't
Just from
stop.
the waist down. Rope-a-dope. You'll have to do the rope-a-dope.
Yeah, rope-a-dope.
Yeah, just back yourself
I actually just watched the George Foreman movie of it the other day.
Which movie?
George Foreman's movie.
I didn't even know he had
On
one.
Netflix, yeah.
Oh, really?
Forrest Whitaker is like the coach.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't know who the dude
All
is.
about the Zaire fight, the Rumble in the Jungle,
they
or
did
just
it-
his life in general?
Yeah, just his life. It's just funny how like different people see lives differently.
Yeah.
Like the Zaire, the Rumble in the Jungle should have been one of the biggest things but it was just, he just went there and then he
Had a fight?
had a
Lost,
fight and lost
come
and
back?
left. And,
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
really? Was it?
Oh, I think he, of course he got rope-a-doped. He got a bit upset about it, and then he started carrying on a bit after that.
But we've said it on here before. History always favours the victor, doesn't it?
Mm.
Because you'd think that fight was the biggest fight in history.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was, though. I feel maybe he was just dark because he lost. Because I feel
Yeah.
like that Rumble in the Jungle, that fight in Zaire, was epic for the time.
Yeah, because he actually lost that fight, and then he sort of went down in the dumps a bit, being a bit of a carrying on a bit, and then he tried to start fighting again, and he ended up getting beaten again, and then he come out and had a heart attack pretty much in the dressing room, and then woke up and seen God. He reckons he pretty much died in the dressing room.
Did he really?
And
I
he
never
woke-
heard that.
Well, I don't know if this is real or not, but
Yeah.
this is what happened. And then he woke up seeing God, and then next day he went in and said, I'm going to become a preacher, fuck boxing.
And that was it.
And then he preached for 10 years or something. Then he's like, I might go back and, because, then his manager lost all his fucking money.
Yeah.
That was his best mate from school, whatever.
Yeah.
Lost all his money. And then he's like, oh, shit, I'm going to have to, because he started a youth hostel and a youth place and stuff like that.
Did he really?
And they were trying to the banks were like, hey, we've got to sell it all. And
Yeah.
he's like, now go back and start fighting again. So that's,
Isn't it funny how many of these boxers end up broke? It's all that. I've said it
Bad
for
management.
years.
But
It's just that.
bands are the same because it's probably different. Boxers, the people who do boxing are usually come from a lower
A certain demographic.
socio-economic sort of
Yeah, yeah,
thing,
yeah,
and they just
yeah.
same as football players. You see, most NRL football players have the biggest gambling problems you've ever seen. Growing
you're
up,
right.
most of my mates that played NRL, they leave here, good blokes, come back, fucking just total bloody gamblers. They just
Yeah,
in the
really.
TAB flat stick because they
Don't know how to manage their
don't
money.
know how to manage their money properly.
Yeah.
And it's probably changed now. Like they have the right people in the business.
They
to
do, they
forward
do.
them around and give them the right.
Yeah. They get better advice and
Yeah.
education on how to
Yeah,
use
but
their money.
most of them come back and it's always just TAB and just talking about horses and shit. And you're like, oh shit, you changed.
Well, Bill went the right way. He actually owns the
Yeah,
horses.
owns the horses and
That's
rides
exactly right. Yeah. And then he takes all the money off his NRL mates.
And I don't, yeah, but I've actually never seen him gamble. So yeah, just he's a different sort of bloke that way.
Yep.
But yeah, like, so George Foreman sort of went down that path where he's like, poor me, poor that, and then then he went back fighting, and then build his way back up and become world champion.
put out a little miniature barbecue, and away he went.
Yeah, well, that was the thing that pretty much saved him too, that barbecue.
He
But they
apparently
didn't
made a fair bit of money off that, eh?
Yeah, I think it was 150 million or 250 million.
Really?
Super like that, yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
That's pretty epic. That's pretty epic. And then had a heart attack. No, he'd already had the heart attack.
No, he had the heart attack, and then because
what got him in the end? It was a heart attack that got him
I actually
in the end,
don't
wasn't it?
know what
I'm
happened.
pretty sure
he
it
only
was.
died last week.
Yeah, it was only last week or the week before. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was another heart attack.
It's a good story to watch. It's sort of, I reckon they could have done it better. I think the Ali one was done way better.
Yep.
Than the George Foreman one. They could have done it better, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah, but
he had
Ali
a hard life growing up, George Foreman.
Did he?
Yeah.
Really?
Single sort of mum, real poor family, didn't even have light, eating around, and then they were like sharing
wrong
food
side of the
table.
tracks.
Yeah, and he's always a bigger kid.
Yep.
Got kept back, and then all the kids start calling him like poor and fat and all that. So he just used to bash them. Because he's like twice the size. Like, why would you tell the biggest kid in class you're poor and fat?
Yeah. How to deal with bullies 101. Boom. And the bullying stops real fast. The bullying stops real fast.
Yeah, so that's actually not a bad. Yeah.
What's
good.
it on Netflix?
Yeah, Netflix. Yeah,
I'll have to have a look at that.
Watch. Yeah.
I'll have to have a look at that. But back to boxing. What do we got? 26th of this
April,
month.
Yeah.
Yep. Gold Coast Exhibition Entertainment.
Yep.
I think there's still a few tickets left, but not many.
Yep, and there's after party tickets still available
Is
as
there?
well. So yep, if you want to go in there and get stuck into the free piss, there's like free spirits as well, UDLs and stuff like that. Stop it.
No. You might be dragging me out at the end of the night.
But
this time around.
I heard like it goes for because the fights start like 3:30 and they end at like 8:30. So you got until from like 8:30 till 12 o'clock at night of just free piss
to smash grog.
Yeah, so get in there and get your shit together. Or if I was young, I'd be like, fuck yeah, woo! And I was like, oh.
You're going to have to drink my share because I had 3 beers with you last week and I was rat shit the next day. So I'm not going to talk like I'm going to be holding up my end of the bargain because I'm certainly not even bloody close. And how's the training going, big fella?
Yeah, it's going.
It's going.
Well, the other day I got a haircut and shaved my face. Everyone's like, holy shit, you've lost a lot of weight. It's like, yeah, no, I just shaved my face.
I'm having a dilemma. I thought I was doing real well with weight, right? Because I've been using my scales at home. And
they're wrong.
Well, potentially, I may not have lost any weight at all. But I've been on 3 different sets of scales and I've got 3 different answers each time. So I'm just thinking I should take the average.
Yeah.
I've got a 92, a 95, and a 99.7. And I'm like, whoa, hey, hang on a second.
Well, probably the 99, I
Shut
reckon.
your big dot. The worst part was the ones that said 99.7 were at the missus' work at the vet. They're at the vet, so I'm like, I'm pretty sure they might be accurate. But I never promised anyone I was going to make any weight class.
Well, that's a good thing. And the fellas in your fight, there's some big boys in there.
A couple of them are big units. Like, fuck.
One of the lads from the Two-Piss Kents is a pretty big dude.
Like, he's a big boy, man. That's why I figure if I am 99, it might help me just a little bit more cushion to take some shots with.
I think your mate's fella's pretty big too.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Yeah.
Even Ben, he looks like he's, I don't know, he looks like he's pretty bloody tall.
Yeah, I haven't really had a look how tall. Yeah.
Oh, he looks like he's tall. He looks like he's about 6'3", 6'4",
Yeah.
so he's got to be the best part of 100 kilo.
Oh, I didn't think
I'm
he'd be
like,
that big.
oh, far out. Might have to just start smashing the bacon deluxe burgers and Hungry Jacks for the next 2 weeks.
We had a call from Knuckles the other day, so we were had a bit of a chat on his, and it'll be out soon. So if you want to have a listen to that, that'll be up on Proper True Yarn.
Proper.
And, so what's well, I'm trying to, when you introduce yourself at the start of the show, you're like, what's this podcast about? And I try to think like telling yarns the everyday battler hears at the pub. Be it true, false, and most importantly, alleged.
Alleged.
Because if you say alleged, whatever we say on here, we can get away with and not go to jail.
Just about everything we say on here has some truth in it.
Yeah.
Some.
The word the or some.
Like when I start a fact with like, did you know? Most of it is going to be true.
Yeah.
Most.
So like, we do have a lot going on here with what's about to come on. Might even, we've got another 10 minutes before I can have a chat with these other followers. So
what have you got? What have you written down this week? Because
So
I've written
I
down
went-
a bit.
I went fishing last Sunday.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
I was hungover.
Well, you were all here like, yeah, we'll go tomorrow. And you're saying to Mark, you coming with me tomorrow? Yeah,
I was
fucking
dirt.
awesome.
I'm not even kidding. 3 beers and I was dirt the next day,
I
eh?
was fucking perfect.
I didn't get out of bed until 10 o'clock. It's piss poor.
Piss poor, all right.
Not piss fit. How was the reef? Was it good?
It was actually clean.
Yeah, sir. I heard it was.
Yes.
I missed it. And now the wind's come up.
Yeah, the winds come up, but also it was really clean. And guess what? I couldn't get in the water because I got a perforated eardrum from box.
Oh, that's right.
So I couldn't get in the water from
Says
this
you're
cockhead across here.
Shouldn't have got yet.
Get a few fish. Get a few fish.
Should have had your guard up.
Should have dodged left.
Yeah,
Went right.
should have ducked when you weaved.
Yeah, we got probably about 12 fish in half a day, I'll tell you the reason why we only had half a day very shortly. But we took Denny's, my brother's new boat out. He's got those Seakeeper rides on it.
Oh, yeah, here we go. All right, because
So-
we've been talking about these.
So these Seakeeper rides, if you like, the first thing when you say a Seakeeper, everyone think of a big gyroscope
Yeah.
because that's the first thing that they invented.
Yep.
But these Seakeeper rides are like a trim tab.
Yep.
And so they pretty much just go on the back of your boat, and they look like 2 head units off a Garmin display.
Yeah, they kind of do,
They
don't
sort of
they?
look like that, and they sort of just move, but they move like 100 times a second, and they.
1,000 movements a minute, it says on their
No, I thought it was 1,000 things a second, like calculations.
Is that what it is?
But it's like 100 times a second they'll move.
Yeah, right.
Or something stupid like that.
Yeah, it is.
Something
It's a lot.
insane. So, and the way they work is they just go off the boat and you can actually put it on your screen and if it's leaning to the right a bit, it'll just automatically level it out.
Makes the adjustment.
Yeah. But if you've got a bit of an oncoming wind and a swell coming from a shitty direction, you can actually turn your boat a bit so it faces upwards a bit,
Yeah.
but still has all the stopping the waves bouncing your boat and all that sort of stuff still, but hold your boat at an angle as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like,
Sounds fantastic.
yeah,
Does it work?
it fucking works.
Does it? Do
Yeah.
they? They're that
It's-
good, eh?
It's that good.
Because everyone raves about them.
And like the boat that Oscar built, the BME one, is actually a really good boat and a comfy boat, and it handles really well.
Yep.
And then these things just take it to another level.
Really?
It's just like a suction cap, just suctions it to the fucking ocean.
And it just takes all that excess movement out.
Yeah, and you just got like going from like a sort of a slap to just like just a little bounce.
Really?
Yeah.
Far out.
Mm.
Have you ordered some?
Trying to. You know the bit worst part about having a good mate that does these sort of things is they say yeah, but they never fucking do it. Listen, whoever I'm talking to, fucking listen. I want them. Get them.
And what about your brother's boat? First trip out the reef in it?
He has that. That was like his second or third, but that's his first day with everything working.
It was it?
Yeah, with
Yep.
the Seakeepers and all
So
that.
so BME, our sponsor,
Yep.
built his boat for him.
Yep.
It's a six and a bit,
Six and a half. Yeah.
plate boat, plate
But
all round.
It's a big six
It's
and a
a
half.
big 6.5.
Yeah.
Man. When I was
It'll
having a climber,
fit most 6.5s will fit inside it.
yeah, I'd believe that because it's real beamy,
Yeah.
and the amount of storage up front is insane.
Yeah, there's storage everywhere, all in the walls and
That
everywhere.
because
yeah.
under that casting deck up, you could sleep in there,
Yeah, easy.
easy.
It's a big deep V sort of boat, and yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It's just pretty much perfect for out off here.
Yeah, it is.
And then if you wanted to take it to Corumba, Weeper, or somewhere like that, like if you're a charter fish operator, that's a perfect boat
It is, isn't it?
to be a charter.
And it
boat.
holds how much fuel?
I think it's 400.
400 litres of fuel, and 100 or so of water as
100
well.
of water, and it's got a freezer up the front as well.
Really?
Yeah, it's got a plate freezer.
Far out.
It's got fucking everything. Yeah,
It really does. It's a real expedition boat.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
pretty much.
Like
yeah.
if you wanted to even go from here to Weeper, you could do it in that boat.
Mm.
You know, you'd have to time your weather and all that sort of stuff. But
And get some sales.
but no, because you think 400 litres of fuel.
Yeah, but he's got a big engine on it.
Yeah, I know he's got a big engine on it, but you don't have to push it 60 knots the whole time, do
What's the
you?
use of it going then?
Well, if you're trying to get distance out of it, you know what I mean? If you just sat on 20, 25 knots, you're going to cover distance comfortably and you're not going to chew that much fuel.
Yeah.
You're really not. Because you're going to go from Port Douglas would be the last place you can get fuel before you hit Cooktown.
Yeah.
And that's only a 200k run.
Mm.
As the crow flies, it's a lot further if you go inland.
Yeah.
But up the coast, it's only 200. And then from there to Lockhart River is probably only 200.
I think you fill up there and you'll make it to Weeper then, because you've got to go
You
around
pretty
the
much
top.
would. You've got to go around the top, but you can always go into Stacey or Bamaga.
Mm.
They're both options to get fuel as well.
Yeah.
So it's one of those boats that you really could do an epic kind of
Yeah.
month-long, 6-week trip in without too much drama and be able to take everything that you need to take as well.
Mm.
I like it. I really like it. I think it's a good
Fucking
boat.
oath,
Real
yes.
good boat.
Then it just opened my eyes up, those sea keepers. I've just do your research on them. They're fucking good.
They
Yeah.
are worth all the fanfare,
Yep.
eh?
And the thing is, you feel them. You can feel them. They like make the back of your boat like skid and slide because it's them going into the water. But because they're constantly in and out of the water, you feel your boat like it's fishtailing just a little bit because it's keeping the nose
Creating
down.
just that little bit of drag to pull the nose down
Yeah.
here and there. Yeah,
and
right.
it just reacts to the wave. As soon as the wave hits it, it'll react and push the nose down and let it up. And yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
they're worth
crazy.
a look. They're
Yeah.
really worth a look. And if you have a look on Seakeeper, the original ones that you were talking about, the gyroscopic
gyros,
type
yeah.
things, they're even more unreal. They're
Yeah.
not cheap though. What
No.
are they worth? 30 grand or
Oh,
something,
yeah,
aren't they?
it just depends what sort of boat. You could probably start around 20 grand for a smaller boat, and then you're up in the hundreds if you're in a big boat.
Really?
Because all it is just a big ball that goes in your boat, and it just spins at, I think it's like 20 or 50,000 revolutions a second. Something stupid like
Is
that.
it really?
That's how fast they spin. They like, don't quite what, alleged.
Allegedly.
But yeah,
could be
Google
minute,
that one.
could
Just
be
say
minute, could
how-
be hour.
Yeah, how fast do they spin? Seakeeper, gyro,
Gyro.
spin cycle, spin speed. What is it?
97.50 per minute.
Yep. So
That's
yeah,
huge.
nearly 27,000.
Almost 27,000. 27,000 every 3 minutes. That's what
Yeah.
it was. That's where you got confused, bro.
Yeah.
Far out. Yeah, they're crazy. I've seen them online, like people testing them where you've got like half
Yeah.
a dozen guys
You
on each
rock the
side of the
boat.
boat, rocking the boat, and you turn it on, the rock just
Yeah.
vanishes. Gone.
I think Zipwake is another brand that sort of does this, but I don't think they're as good as.
Is that the
as
wakeboard
Rise.
boats?
No, Zipwake is made by Volvo Penna, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, is it?
Mm.
And similar sort of thing, is it?
Yeah, they're just like a flat like plate that goes up and down.
Oh, true.
And it just goes up and down, in and out of the water, sort of.
And acts the same as what a
Acts the same,
Seakeeper does. Yeah,
But
okay.
a bit, I think it's a bit slower and doesn't react as quick.
Yeah, right.
So they need to step up their
You
game
know
a
other
little bit.
boats that we don't really get into but have a heap of this kind of technology in them? Those wakeboard boats. They have some pretty neat stuff in some of
Yeah.
those wakeboard boats, say like ballast tanks to create more
Yeah,
wake.
and then they got a thing that goes over the prop to create more wave at the back of the boat.
do they?
It's it's a thing that goes over the back of the prop, and it
Just causes a wave
causes more
straight
wave
off
to
the
come
back
up,
of the
and
boat.
then you can actually suction cap these things to the side of the boat and create a wave as well.
Really?
Yeah.
They're pretty nuts, and some of
Yeah.
them are good-looking boats too. They reckon they're real heavy though, eh?
Yeah, there's I've been following this aluminium one on. I don't know if we follow it on PubMO or on my page, but they're $600,000 American for a wake boat.
No, stop it.
So it's 1.2 million or 1 million Australian.
No, it's 1.2 now. It's actually 1.2
Thanks,
now.
Trumpet.
Yeah. I wanted to have a yarn about that, but let's
Yeah.
not get into that just yet. We'll keep talking about happy things like boats.
All right. So while we're at it, we'll give Bryden a call. We're on the box and chat a bit earlier, and we'll see if we can.
Bryden from the We Don't Get Out Much podcast.
Yeah, we don't get out much podcast. He's actually fighting the same podcast I'm fighting. The Now That's Dramas podcast. He's fighting that. So just see if this works, because these podcasts, these roadcasters, seem to not want to work lately.
Temperamental.
Yes.
Temperamental like an Italian
it's
missus.
going.
Hello.
Bryden, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Oh, fantabulous! You're live on air here. We're about to we're actually just been halfway through talking about how we're going to build up these followers down there.
Oh, easy win. Easy win.
How's the training going, big dog? You ready to rumble or what?
Yeah, mate. I've actually just finished training tonight, so I've just we're about to record, but yeah, been hooking in. So how about you fellas? How you fellas going?
Next question.
Oh, that's promising.
I think I've done two boxing sessions so far, but I
Oh,
mean,
that's all right. That's
I'm
better than one.
That's exactly right. It's better than none.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't care how much training you do, mate. Once your eyes is closed,
Nah.
it all counts for nothing, doesn't it?
That's very true. That is very true. Have you been practicing everything blindfolded? You got
Oh,
two
my
Kent's
missus
boys
reckons I
there,
walk.
been doing it.
My missus reckons I walk around my eyes shut all the friggin' time anyway. So, mate, I'm ready to go. The only guy that's got more experience as having his eyes closed is Ben, and he's legally
Oh, yeah.
blind. So.
Exactly right. Yeah, I reckon you've got it cut out with him. I reckon he's gonna knock a few heads off. So.
Mate, he's going to have all his spidey senses going. We're going to be
fuck
fucked.
oath. Yeah, really, isn't it?
Oh, we're worried about. Oh, Jai was worried about what. Hope he doesn't hit his fucking guide dog.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because the poor dog's going to be shitting himself, eh? Like, he really fucking is.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how the dog actually communicates where everybody is. So,
And
good
that's, I
good
reckon
luck,
that's
good
what
luck.
it is. That fucking dog better be blindfolded too, pal. I tell you what.
Yeah, yeah.
And if he thinks it's beneath me to kick a service dog in the guts, it's not.
Nah. Anything goes in the ring. Anything goes, especially when you're blindfolded. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I actually finished training tonight, and I was limping out. I've done a few mischiefs with me calves and me hemis and stuff, so they don't want to play the game at my age for some reason.
Oh, that's not surprising. Not punching those bananas isn't helping you at all, mate.
No, it's not. Yeah, sidestepping worked. I think that's how I did it. Started the injury by just sidestepping a bit of work.
Just moving too quickly at your age, mate.
Now you're fighting the other half of the Now That's Drama's podcast, aren't you?
Yeah, fighting Brody. Eddington, the big boy.
Yeah, he looks like a bit of a big unit.
Yeah, just more head to punch, really.
Yeah,
so
100%. Yep.
He's he's going to be a big boy. I think he's 10 years younger than me. I mean, that's nothing what Taz has got. He's got 25 years on the other fella, but
in a walking frame.
But no, I think that's right. And yeah, I think he was a couple of kilos heavier than I am when we first weighed in. But it looks like he's been doing a bit of ground of work. But it's just going to be a bit even more embarrassing for him. He's been recording all this road to the whatever the fuck it is, and he's just going to embarrass him even more when he loses. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
I look forward to it.
He has been running his mouth a little bit, isn't he, the big fella?
Yeah, and I tried to keep my mouth shut for a while, and then it got the better of me. And I just had to say a couple of things. So
mentioned something the other day that you called him fat, and he said, "Now now the gloves are off."
Oh, I think chubby was the word, to be fair. He's been living off since the start. I think he can cop one on the chin. It's outside that. That's all right.
Oh, the other thing
he'll be fine.
The other thing is he comes off the back fence. I've never seen a skinny front rower. That's when people. You're more AFL down your way, aren't you?
Yes,
AFL? Yeah.
absolutely. Yep.
So when we say someone comes off the back fence, that's pretty much your biggest person in your footy team.
Yeah,
not a huge.
Easy, I'll just sidestep him then. Easy.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one. So whereabouts are you guys, man? Tell us. Give a bit of a shout out to yourselves for our listeners. Where are you guys, and what's your potty about?
Yeah, so we don't get out much podcast. We started it, so we're from Central Victoria, down in Bendigo.
Yep.
So just a couple of hours out of Melbourne. We've been doing this since August 2023, I think. The name's sort of based off, I mean, pretty much says it all. And ironically, it's gone the other way since we started it. But just talking shit, we were sort of inspired by the Alpha blokes who really got into that.
Yep.
And that sort of we thought, this is going to be a ripper idea. And, we talk shit. We caught up every week anyway, and pretty much had a couple of beers and just stuck some microphones in front of us instead. So, that's just sort of rolled from there. It's been really good. It's a bit of a different crowd down here in Victoria, say up in Queensland, comparison to a lot of the podcasts. But yeah, no, it's been really fun. And it just gives us an excuse. So it's myself and Tommy and Pete come on. We've all been mates since year 7. So a good 25 years. So, we've just been talking shit for the last 18 months. Every Tuesday night. It's been great.
Yeah, awesome, bud.
Yeah.
And
it's really good.
Yeah, right. Do you get down to Melbourne much, being out where you are, or you just kind of avoid the big smoke?
I'm not like Bendigo's pretty big for
Yep.
regional as it's called, but usually I go to Melbourne and catch up with family or go down to the footy. So I'm a
Yeah.
mad Collingwood supporter, so I get down there as much as I can, where I can, and the cricket, if I can get to cricket as well. So, but yeah, no, I try to avoid it as much as I can. Too many people,
It's
drive me insane.
bit of we're the same, mate.
I see Collingwood. A lot of because I don't know much about AFL. I have a couple of friends. We were watching them. Collingwood played in the grand final. Was it last year or this year? I can't remember. One of those.
It was 2023. I was actually there.
Yeah,
it was one of the greatest days of my life. And I've had 2 kids.
and one of my friends said all the Collingwood supporters, they all have no teeth. Is that? Do you have teeth?
Yeah. Look, it's that gets thrown around a fair bit. It's pretty old, to be honest. But anyway, I've got mine still, thankfully, for now. But I am only 35, so there's still time.
Yeah, because I didn't know much about it, and I've watched him. I remember watching that big, tall, blonde fella that plays for him, and he pretty much off the start. I don't even know the words. Yeah.
Oh, that's Mason Dixon?
Mason Cox.
Mason Cox.
Mason
That's
Cox.
it. Sorry, Mason Cox. Yeah.
I should have remembered his name.
I was about to say, it's pretty much your name, isn't it?
and
it's what Joy likes. Cox.
Big yank, big tall yank.
Yeah. It's a really interesting story, that, isn't it? Him coming into the AFL.
Yeah, and he's quite a smart fella too. I think he's qualified. He does like engineering or civil construction or something, whatever it is over in America. And he come over. I think he's 7 foot tall.
Yeah, he is a 7-footer, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's one of those blokes that sort of he's either here or like he's either playing real shit or he's playing really well. But that year that we won the flag, he was dominant. He's very few Americans have played the game, and he's killed it. So he's done really well, and he got a punch on the. He got that American arrogance about him at times.
Yeah.
And he got a punch on the chin a couple of weeks ago, and I was at that game, and fuck, people got into him. They just said, "Oh, you've just done Australia a favour," and blah 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 blah. But it just sort of feeds him. And he did that's just him. He just fucking loved it, I think, after that. So but it's a great story. Fuck, imagine being a Yank and just coming over and just killing it in the game.
Yeah, I heard he got spotted. I heard he got spotted at it was some basketball thing, and he just happened to be kicking a ball around because he played soccer growing up. And somebody happened to spot him there and just went, "Hey, you ever heard of AFL?" He went, "No." They said, "You want to play it?" He went, "Yep." Next thing you know, he's in the AFL.
Well, that's right, and because with his when he first started his kicking, he couldn't kick it very far, but he's quite technical. He was really good, and he could kick a footy. Because they just taught him, when you've got that adult mentality, I suppose, it's a bit easier to teach somebody the basics. And he was dead eye in front of goal. He'd kick it straight and, kick it sort of 40 metres, and that's all he needed to do. He's 7 foot tall. He sort of marks over everybody most of the time, or at least brings it to the ground. So,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any other Are there any other 7-footers in the league at the moment? I don't think there is there?
There'd be some pushing, but not quite to that. But anybody sort of around that height Australian sort of play a little bit better than what he does. But there's a few around, but not too many.
Yeah, right.
You'd be up around there. How tall are you?
6'9"? No, 6'2".
Well, the other
two separate measurements.
The other fellas in your podcast must be pretty short then.
That's right. Well, Pete who's just walking through the door now, he'd be pushing about 5 foot, I reckon. And then Tommy's just a bit shorter than I am. So but my head makes me look taller. I've got a fucking giant head, so I reckon that's half my length. So
you got that big long beard too.
There's no chin under there. I can't fold towels, that's for sure. There's nothing under there. So the We bloke Brody when he's fighting, he's going to have to aim up a little bit, I think, because there's not much chin to hit. That's why I've grown a beard.
Yeah.
Are you going to keep it, or are you going to shave it off, or what's the plans?
Nah, no fucking way. I look like an egg if I shave my beard off, and I think my missus hasn't seen me without a beard, and I don't want to risk losing her.
You don't want to break up a happy home.
No, absolutely. I look fucking horrendous without my beard.
My
so I won't
missus
be
says
doing that.
exactly the same about me. Every time I go out the reef and shave everything off, she's like, "Oh God, sleep in the spare room."
You lose a couple of years though, that'd be all right.
Oh yeah,
Make it look a bit younger, baby face.
It's not becoming. I should probably just start dyeing it instead, but I'm not that vain, so I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
She's stuck with me now. All right, bro. Well, look,
bad luck.
We'll let you get out of here, but we'll try and push a few people your way. And on the night, well,
Legend, thank you.
Obviously, we're going to have to support you because it's war. It's war.
Yeah, exactly right. So
until
we'll make the
afterwards,
boys
and
from
then
now.
we'll
Let's
have
run
some
a 0
beers.
and 2.
What do we
Yeah,
got?
and then we'll go
What do
kick.
we're allies.
That's the one.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And then once it's all said and done, once we've beaten them 0-2, you've kicked the blind service dog, and we'll have a few beers afterwards.
Yeah,
No,
that's exactly right.
Yeah, well, I had a chat the other day, and I heard there's some good little beverages to come for us straight away. So I'm like, okay, this sounds good.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm fighting early because then I can just get stuck into it straight away. It's great.
Yeah, get it out of the way. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Exactly.
All right, big fella. We'll leave you back
Beautiful.
to it, man. Good talking
Thanks
to
for
you.
having me.
Too easy.
All right, thanks, guys.
See you, bro.
Later. Bye.
Bye.
Yep. So that's Bryden from the We Don't Get Out Much podcast.
Indeed. So give them a listen.
Yeah.
They're not bad, actually. They're funny boys.
Yeah, they're actually just good country sort of banter.
Yep.
They're not as crude as us. Don't
many
talk
are.
as much doodle and bum as us. Yeah, but
All right.
we'll grow up one day.
So
Sounds like they've grown up.
Oh, well, we're still trying. So we were talking about Mason Cox, the big American. And now I want to have a bit of a chat about this other big American, the orange fucking Oompa Loompa, Mr. Trump. Now, I'll premise this by saying I am in no way, shape, or form a political expert or a financial expert.
But allegedly.
All right. So you've seen what's going on, right? He's bought out all these tariffs. He dropped them all on the same day, and it just seemed to send the whole world into a spiral. I don't really understand why, but I guess it all revolves around stocks and trades and all that sort of stuff. 20 minutes, I think they lost $6 trillion out of their stock market in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
After he announced it. I don't even know how that's possible. I don't know how they come up with these numbers. And now I think it's up to like $14 trillion has gone out of the stock market now.
Yeah.
But not just the US stock market, our stock
over
market's
in the-
gone to shit. China, Japan, pretty much all the stock markets around the world have just capitulated for some reason.
Yeah. What was that one? 9.6 trillion? That one?
Yeah, that was the initial crash, was the $6
1
trillion
day ago,
gone
yeah.
in one day. I think it was actually in like half an hour. It was crazy.
Yeah, on
Now-
opening.
Yeah, on the opening of the stock exchange, it just went down the tubes. So he bought in all these tariffs. Now, a tariff is, what would you call a tariff? A tax, I suppose?
It's another word for tax.
It's another
just
tax
a
on the export.
Excuse
I
me.
think.
It's another word
yeah,
for
it's
tax,
pretty
right?
much
No,
anyone
tax
who
on the import.
Yeah,
of
so
a certain.
so if I'm going to send over this $1 coin, he's
Yep.
going to charge us 20 cents. So we only get 80 cents. We'll hit the.
But if you get a tax put on you, what are you going to do? You're going to hand
make
it
the
on.
price on. Yeah.
That's exactly right. So if this dollar costs you $1.20 to send over there, well, you're going to charge $1.20
$1.40.
for that dollar. Yeah, or $1.40, even more. Now, Trump is either going to go down as a full tilt genius because his plan's going to work. And I've been listening to a lot of this week, and there's a few pundits that go, yeah, okay, potentially it could. But the capitulation that they've had in like the last year, like that word?
Yeah.
Good word. Fuck off. The capitulation they've had in the last, say, 72 hours kind of leans more towards him just taking an absolute stab in the dark.
Yep.
And it's just going to be an absolute shit show. And they reckon they'll be in a recession by the end of the year, definitely. Potentially by the end of the financial year, which is only, 2 months away, 2.5 months away. So
So get
somebody,
your tickets for the podcast Royale.
yeah, you may not be able to afford to do nothing by the end of the month. But the other one, all these tariffs, all the countries had different tariffs, right? There was different percentages on different tariffs, and no one could work out. Like they were like, how is anyone coming up with this number? Well, people have worked out how he's come up with the number to charge these countries, right? He's basically just taken the amount of money that they spend importing from that country versus the amount of money that they spend exporting to that country.
Yeah.
And he's just played the two off against each other, and that's how he's come up with. So countries that they export nothing to are getting like 90% tariffs on. Countries that they export a lot to are only getting 10% tariffs on. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? But it's been so like blasé and ill thought out. He's whacked tariffs on two countries that don't actually have people. No, I'm not even joking, bro. This is dead set serious. There's these two. Have you heard of this?
I've heard of it, yeah.
So there's these two little islands down near fucking Alaska or the Arctic Circle or some remote bumfuck place in the middle of nowhere, right? And he has actually whacked tariffs on them. They don't have a population. They have penguins. Like there is not one person living on these
He said I'm going
islands.
to tariff any man in a suit.
Any country. He's
Anyone
like,
who looks like
"That's
they're
it."
wearing a suit.
He's like, anyone that has a country, they're getting a tariff whacked on them. So he's whacked it on these couple of countries that don't actually have. That's it. The Heard McDonald's Islands. That's the one. Yeah. Norfolk Island. He threw a 29% tariff on Norfolk Island out of
'Cause
Sydney.
it's Australia anyway.
That's Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it got a separate tariff.
It's I think some companies say they're based in these islands. I think.
Is that what it's
Or
come down
something.
to?
Yeah,
Is that
there's
how
some
they
weird
worked it
tax
out?
evasion
Bit of tax
thing.
dodge.
Okay, yeah, look, could potentially
yeah.
be. Maybe that's it. So he's thrown tariffs everywhere. A lot of countries have basically just went, well, if you're going to throw that on us, we're going to throw that on you.
Yeah.
The biggest one to do it is China. And this is where his thought process, and if you listen to any of his press conferences, I don't think there's much of a thought process because the shit that comes out of his mouth is almost worse than what was coming out of Biden's mouth. Like,
Yeah.
no bullshit. It really is. He says the most bizarre things. So he's whacked this big tariff on China, and in return, they whacked a tariff on him
Yeah.
because they sell more to America than America sells to them by a
Yeah,
long,
they
long,
would, yeah.
freaking long way. So then Trump came back with another 50% and said, we're going to throw another 50% tariff on all of your stuff. And they went, well, okay, well, we're going to do the same.
Yeah.
So now they're talking about in the next 2 to 3 months, there could be an increase of 100% on anything that comes from China. Now, Trump's theory is he wants to get America happening again. He wants
get
more
building cars and
all that sort of
again, yeah.
stuff. But so many of these parts
Yeah.
for said cars
Are
come
made
from
in
China. So Chevy.
But the thing is, he should have learnt all that through COVID
well, you'd think so.
because that's where all the factories shut down over there,
They
and they're like,
did.
oh shit, we can't make this stuff.
Yep. So it's gotten so bad that Chevy has already apparently laid off nearly 1,000 workers because they can't get the stuff that they need, and the stuff that they need costs so much. And there's this big misconception we have of China that it's all these little Chinamen standing on a conveyor belt, stamping things and putting them together by hand, but it's
Yeah.
not.
It's big factories.
It's very big factories, and
Yeah.
it's all these specifically built machines to cover one purpose. So instead of one human being able to put out 100 of an item a day, they've got a machine that's putting out 10,000 of an item a day. Now, to take it one step further, China, the BYD factory. Have you
Yeah.
heard about this?
Build your dreams. That's what it's called,
BYD
yeah.
factory is 44 square miles.
As large as San Francisco.
Yep. And it's getting bigger. It's just about to grow to 55 square miles, bro. Square miles for one factory. And I think they're now worth 150.
Trillion.
I think they're worth $150 billion. And that jump has been, it was only 100 billion before all these tariffs came out. And now I believe it's gone shot right up to like $150 billion is their worth. Now, this is just one factory.
What's that? 1
Trillion.
Oh, that's their
One
share
trillion.
market worth.
Share market.
One,
worth,
so
yeah.
there you go. They're worth $1 trillion on the share market. Like
Yeah.
it's mental, right? So from a manufacturing standpoint, he's got it wrong because they can't compete with China. Now, China, as of today or yesterday, have gone and got the shits even more. And you know what they've done? So there's always been, when you invent something, right? you copyright it, and that copyright is international, and no one else can do it. And if they do copyright it, they obviously have to pay you a certain amount to use that
but
design.
I know China for years has not done that.
Well, China's just come out and basically said that they're not going to do that. China's going to take whatever it is that America produces or Europe produces. They don't care now because they know that they can produce it a hell of a lot less and a hell of a lot faster. And they're just going to throw it all out the window, their trade agreements and all that sort of stuff. And they're just going to start building whatever they want. So they're undercutting the US by removing all copywriting infringements on products.
Yeah,
they don't
it's just
care.
Well, the thing is, what they'll say, well,
So
we'll go to war then.
Here's the estimate. They reckon in the next 6 weeks, an iPhone in America is probably going to cost in the vicinity of $3,000 to $3,500 American to buy an iPhone. China says that they can make an iPhone exactly the same for $400 American.
Yeah.
I don't know where his thought process is. When you're not building anything and then you do this and you shit on a lot of people. He shit on Australia big time. You heard what he did to Australia. And you know me, I don't like either side of politics, but I am kind of glad we've got Albanese at the moment because his response has been really measured. It hasn't been, a tantrum where he's, Trump's this and he's fucking gone off the rails. He's been real measured about what he's done. And little known fact, Albanese's in China right now.
Yeah.
Tying up trade agreements and production agreements and all that sort of stuff.
They want to throw shit at and kick you in the guts.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. You're kicking your allies in the guts.
You're kicking your allies in the guts.
Without us, they can't get no communication for all their war efforts.
That's exactly right.
Because if you go to Western Australia over to Exmouth, have you seen the size of that fucking
in
radar?
In Broome,
No, it's in Exmouth.
Oh, it's in Exmouth, is it?
There's one in Exmouth, and it's probably it's got to be 10 kilometres wide.
Really?
And it's just these big poles that probably go. Google it. It's probably 500 meters up into the sky,
and
there's like 50 of them.
What are they? Just relay towers? Are they?
And it's just a big net. Looks like a big round net.
Wow, true.
And that's what they use for the radar.
So it gets to a point, and some people argue with me on this, and that's cool. It is what it is. But it gets to a point where eventually you've got to start questioning.
Just images.
You've just got to start questioning. Oh wow! Look at
the
that.
size of that fucking thing.
Holy. That's crazy.
Well,
holy.
Yeah. How tall you reckon? They're probably 100 meters tall or something.
Huge. Yeah, right.
I don't think that one was it, but yeah, because they're way bigger than
they're huge.
Ones, yeah.
No, that's massive. So at some point, as a country, we've got to start really questioning who our allies are, eh? Because realistically, when we look at it, aside from the military backing, what have we really got from the US? And on the issue of the military backing, they've only needed our help because they keep starting fights.
Yeah.
We've
never been in trouble.
No, if we weren't aligned with them,
Japan was heading this way.
Look, Japan was definitely heading this way, without a doubt, and they did us a solid on that one. The German thing, no, not really.
Yeah.
Vietnam. Nope, they weren't coming here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all the BS that's gone on in the Middle East ever since, it was never us. No one ever has beef with us. So why do we? You know where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And this has just really highlighted what the US is all about.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Americans. Yeah. I'm very much directing this at their government. You know what I mean? Without a shadow of a doubt. I think there's been a real, in these last 12 months, I think there's been a real U-turn by a lot of Americans on their own policy.
But I don't understand why you tariff your allies.
It's just I can't. There's nothing about it. And then it's gone even further than that too. And this has only just happened in like the last 3 or 4 days, right? So they've brought out all the immigration stuff and they're cracking down on immigration. They're deporting people, all that sort of stuff, because that was the big thing that he got in on. And it's also a big thing that's absolutely fucking their farming industry, because all of their workers, their labourers, they all got deported. Or they left on their own accord knowing that they were going to get deported, right? So there's farmers struggling everywhere. But now there's people, and it is become a very, very fascist kind of a methodology too. There's people that are just getting taken off the street by men that aren't displaying badges or their faces, they're masked up and all that sort of stuff for posts on social media.
Yep.
And they're getting taken to prisons and not concentration camps, wrong word, like Guantanamo Bay and all that sort of stuff for no good reason at all, including, have you ever heard of Renato, I hope I don't murder his last name, Renato Suboric.
That's him there. He's popped up there.
That's him there. So he is actually the head MMA coach for the Australian team.
And he's the fellow that had death threats on him. They were saying they called the fucking MMA off on the weekend.
Oh, was he really? I didn't hear
that
about
him?
that. No, well, what's happened with Renato, right? He was going over to the US to be part of this big MMA coaching seminar that was going on. Now, this has been advertised. There's tickets sold. There's all this sort of stuff for it. He got pinged. This is an Australian citizen. He's not from anywhere else. Like, okay, he's got a European last name, but he's Aussie through and through. And he's got pinged at the airport, and they've pulled him across, stating that he had a error with his visa coming into the country. So not only did he not get to speak to anyone, lawyer or the Australian embassy or anything like that, he's been swiped, handcuffed, and taken to a federal prison. Straight off the bat. Straight to a federal prison, brother. And
No
then
clear explanation.
No
Just
explanation,
no
nothing,
rights.
right? Strip searched, fingerprinted, all that sort of stuff, and thrown into general population.
Yep.
He's gone to get some lunch, come back, and there's a couple of guys going through his stuff. The story goes that he flogged them. He gave them a hiding because you either want to be top of the food chain or bottom of the food chain, I'm guessing. And under the circumstances, you just, I don't know, do whatever you can. Eventually, he was released. I don't know how long it was after he was released. Does it say there? No, it doesn't say. It was only, I think it was only a couple of days that he was pulled up for. Oh, no, 24 hours. There you go. It was only 24 hours. And then he was released and deported back to Australia. This is a dude that has dotted all his I's, crossed all his T's. He's an Australian citizen, again, an ally country, who's gone over there for work purposes. It's all been advertised, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. And he's just been yanked and thrown in a federal prison with no explanation whatsoever. Still does not have an explanation.
And you know the worst part about it? Because they can.
Because they can.
And you know another reason why I don't like
that's fascism, bro.
Why I don't like the Yanks? They took over Guam. Apparently Guam is America.
Yep.
And it's in the middle of fucking between us and Japan.
Yep.
Halfway. It's a tropical island. Nowhere near fucking America, which gives me the fucking shits. We flew up there a few years ago to go to Tokyo to go snowboarding.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that the plane had to land in Guam and then go to Tokyo. Like this plane did a pull over and then fly off. So we landed in Guam. They made us get off the plane, walk all the way down to the other. It's a long airport, big long. From one end of the airport, out the gate 27.
Yeah.
All the way down, go through immigration, fingerprinted, all this shit. Get our bags. Put them back on, and then go, and then sign back in, and walk all the way back up to gate 28. That gate next to us. We could have just sat there and got on the next flight because we had connecting tickets.
And this is, I think,
but they fingerprinted us.
So I think now with the internet, like we have right in front of us, with the TikTok, with the Instagram, and that sort of stuff, all of this information now is available. You know, the carry-on and what the US does and all that sort of thing is readily available. And I think they are fast becoming an island because a vast majority of their allies now are all kind of going, you know what, maybe this isn't the way to go. And our media for such a long time has always fed us these stories, haven't they? You know, Russia's this, China's that, you know, blah, 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 Korea's this and all that sort of stuff. Yet when you look at it on the crux of things, like, who's China gone to war with in the last 200 years?
The Mongols.
Well, yeah, not even. That was 2000. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like they've gone about building business as opposed to starting war. Their idea is like, let's make money and let's increase trade, whereas America will just go looking for a fight. And that's the big thing that everyone's worried about now with what's gone on. And they're talking it could be the next Great Depression in America. And one of the ways out of squalor is war. But a lot of people are starting to think that this is a war that even they can't win.
Yeah.
And that'd suck because if we're their allies, that's going to be a lot of young Aussies that are going to go over there and die for what?
Yeah.
This orange fuckwit who
pretty much kicked us in the guts.
Who kicked us in the guts. And no one can really fingerprint. The only logical explanation that I've heard a number of people throwing around is why he's done this. It's because he knows it's going to send the US into a spiral and potentially a fair portion of the world into a spiral, which it has. There's going to be a monumental amount of foreclosures on businesses and all that sort of stuff over in the US. And a lot of political pundits that know a lot more than I do are leaning towards him just doing it so that him and all his billionaire mates can just buy everything up at bargain basement discount prices. And they would go from being billionaires to trillionaires in a very short space of time.
Yep.
And it's the only logical thing. Like he's saying it's about trade and he wants to increase production in America. But I mean, even if they were to build new power plants and new factories and all that, you're talking 4 or 5 years before any of that would even be feasible.
And also, who do billionaires associate with?
Other billionaires.
Billionaires.
That's it.
They don't fucking hang out
down
the pub with the normal average Joes.
They don't. And I think there's a lot of Americans, and from what I've seen online and all that sort of stuff, and I've tried to look at both sides. You know, you get on your algorithm and the same shit will pop up all the time. I've tried to look at both sides, but there's a lot of people in the US right now going, shit, what'd we do? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What the fuck did we do? Maybe this wasn't such a good call after all. So I reckon the next 12 months, man, globally.
Yep.
Our dollar right now.
Hold on to your coin.
Our dollar right now is only worth 47 cents American. And I think it is
60 now.
60, is it? And I did drop. There was a bit of a dip just there. See, what did it go down to there? Under 60.
69, 59 or something
but
like that.
I think on the pound, I think it's like $2.14 Australian to £1 or $2.16 on the pound.
And I don't understand why we get kicked in the guts the most with all this sort of shit.
Yeah.
The Canadian dollar. Have a look at the Canadian dollar.
Yeah, it did do a dip, didn't it?
We used to be parity with them pretty much all the time.
Canadian, we're 70. Oh, no, that's to the US. So the Canadian, and here's
so
one.
they're about 80 cents probably, that's a guess.
So their dollar's jumped up.
Yeah, but the thing is, why are they even better than us?
Well, you know why? Because they pushed back. They didn't take the tariffs. They basically just told the US to shove it up their ass.
Yep.
And I think there's talk they're going to cut off power to a few states. There's
so it's 86
cents to our dollar.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's shit.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Our dollar's
we're
worth
in parity. We've spent most of our time in parity with them.
Yeah, I know. So that's not what allies do, cuz.
No.
It's really not. So anyone listening out there, don't take it from me. Like I said, I am certainly no political analyst or financial freaking analyst in any way, shape, or form. But I've paid attention, and as Aussies, we probably are guilty of not paying attention a lot of the time. Should be right. You know what I mean? But just keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Hopefully, the only good thing that'll come out of this will be a bit of an interest rate drop. I feel like there's going to have to be an interest rate drop, so people will think about buying. But then we're kind of hamstrung at the moment because look at the real estate in this country. It's so high because there's not enough of it.
Yeah.
We're bringing in far too many immigrants. And that's not a racial thing. Don't turn that into a racial thing. That's just a logical numbers thing. There's more people coming into the country than there is houses being built.
Yeah.
And we're already short of houses now.
I've always said it though. I've found in the past 20 years I cannot get Aussie labour on my farm.
No, I know, and that's why we're getting the immigrants in.
And that's the reason why.
100% sit on board with that too.
Because we haven't had a kick in the guts.
No, we haven't. It might be the one that we need.
It might be the thing we need is to get a bit of a kick in the guts, make people get their work ethic back, make them think, hey, fucking working on a banana farm's not that bad.
We talk about it all the time, man. We've made it too easy for people to sit at home on their ass.
Yeah, well,
we really have.
Dul's going to go out the window.
Oh, you probably will.
We'll have to.
So, yeah, and you look at the agricultural sector, it's not just bananas, orange farmers, apple farmers, all these farmers around the country that are screaming out for staff and currently having to use import staff on what is it, 417 visas or whatever? No, whatever the visa's
different
called.
schemes.
Yeah. Plus the backpackers too.
Yeah.
Shout out to all those backpackers that do their 80 days or 90 days or whatever it is on the farm.
Pretty much, I'd say 70% of my workers are from overseas.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's not that bad of work. You're going to get a good pay packet at the end of a week. It's a done better than what you're going to get on the dole.
Again the other day. They're up nearly like $30 an hour now.
That's what I mean.
And you don't even have to have a brain inside your head.
No, you don't have to be skilled at all.
No skilled, no nothing. You can just rock up and stand there and do the job and get $30
we sit
an
here
hour.
and whinge about the immigration rate, but we're also sitting here whinging about Aussies that don't want to go to work. It's a catch-22.
Yep.
And we don't want to become an America where we just put ourselves out of every market, and all of a sudden, it's the price of everything is going to go through the roof. And to me, Australia is already expensive, man.
To me, as an owner, a farmer, I don't really. I'd rather put on someone from overseas because I know I'm going to get more out of them.
Yeah,
and I'm just being honest.
Yeah, I know. We talk about it on here. It's terrible, mate.
That's fucking terrible.
It's terrible. We talk about it here all the time.
Because the Australians now have a grass is greener mentality.
Yeah.
Everything is so much better. And then when they get there, it was better. And then whoever leaves me on my farm and they're sort of on good terms still, they might go somewhere else and say, okay, see you later.
Yep.
They'll come back. They're never as good as what they were when they come back.
Yeah. So it's just worth thinking about. Everyone out there that's listening and that sort of stuff, it's just keep an eye on what's going on globally.
It's always good. You can always look and try to better yourself, and I'm happy for anyone on my farm that wants to better themselves
move on to bigger and better things. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But not move to do the same job somewhere else and then find out the grass isn't greener. And it happens so often.
It's just, so it's worth keeping an eye on. I think there's going to be a lot of change over the next probably 2-3 years, just not just here, globally. I reckon. But anyway, that's enough about the politics. We promised we wouldn't go down that road too much because we are called Pub Ammo, and that's just about useless friggin' information. So, pieces of worldly trivia that you would not hear anywhere else, and most of it is true, allegedly.
I didn't have any pub ammo because I got so much other shit.
Oh, did you? Oh, I had some. Here, I got one for you real quick. All right. So, did you know that all peacocks are male?
No,
they are.
Look, the big ones with the fans.
Yeah.
And the little ones, they're called pea hens or something.
Pea hens. Did you know that?
Oh, I think
figured
I guessed
that out,
it. No,
anyway.
I didn't know that actually, but I just guessed it.
Okay, I got another one for you, and I didn't know this one, and it's pretty unreal. Do you know that newborn babies have nearly 100 more bones than adults do?
No.
As a baby?
Didn't know that.
No. Because they all kind of grow into growth plates and form into fully fledged bones and all that sort of stuff.
I know they don't have kneecaps.
Yeah. There you go.
And their skull isn't formed.
Yep.
I know that. You always, baby's got that soft patch in the middle of the head. And you're like, if I could just push that in. No, I didn't.
That got dark. Jesus, bro.
I was thinking, did I just say that out loud?
I've got another one.
Inside thoughts came out.
A cough can propel saliva droplets as far as 20 feet at speeds of up to 25 to 50 mile an hour.
Well, I think I'm getting a cold off this cunt then.
I haven't been coughing. You
sneeze it's just that side. And then the aircon blows this way.
We'll turn the aircon off.
No.
It's a fucking whinger. And here's a real interesting, I found this one really interesting because it's, again, America and Canada's been sending all their alcohol back to America. Have you seen that?
Seen
They're
that
not
one,
taking it. Eat it. So despite producing 95% of the world's bourbon supply, what do you reckon the official drink of Kentucky is?
KFC?
No, drink. Bro.
What's Pepsi?
No, you never guess this. The official drink of Kentucky is milk.
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 Got them big bones.
Big ass bones. I had a heap of useless shit all stored up. I got more, but what did you have? What were you talking about?
Well, I've got a yarn and a cunt of the week.
I bet you've got a cunt of the week. I know what your cunt of the week is.
A very huge cunt of the week.
Yeah, right.
Let's get straight into that.
Let's get into that.
We just
Way you go.
put the dollar in
Way
here
you go.
and might load up some couple or more.
Oh, this is
So,
good.
who remembers about 6 months ago, I might have had a chat on here about a B double getting stuck on my driveway at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
I remember because you rang me at 6 a.m.
So, when I spoke about me and my brother went to the reef on Sunday, we're heading out the reef about 7 o'clock in the morning. And he gets a phone call on the way out. And he's like, hi. I'm looking at his face, and his face is going all funny. And I'm like, and then you can see him. He's getting wilder and wilder and talking to this person. Then he just hung up and he goes, this cunt fucking serious? And I said, why? And he goes, what happened? He goes, there's a fucking another B double, but this time it's stuck down our farm, pretty much as far as you can get up our farm.
Into your farm.
Into our farm.
Into the farm.
About 2 kilometres, probably 2.5 to maybe 3 kilometres in.
Now, for those people listening, how far into that journey would the bitumen have stopped?
3 kilometres.
No.
Yeah.
No, how far into your farm is bitumen?
None. 3 kilometres of gravel.
So the whole thing was dirt and gravel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was not on bitumen at
Not
all,
on
was he? No. Okay, so, yep, go.
So I'm guessing because there's another road near the area that is gravel
Yeah,
and has bananas on it. It's actually our bananas,
yep.
but it's not on both sides of the road. And
Okay.
this fellow would have drove in there and he said, I'm on the gravel road. Where do I go now? He rang his boss up and his boss said, yep, keep going and then turn right. So he kept going and there was no right turn because there was no fucking right turn to take.
What was there, though? What was there?
A Johnson River and a big mud puddle. So he's driven a B double, like
I know.
where he got to, most days I can't even drive a ute there.
That's a solid effort.
He's done fucking really well. Most like, well, the same as the last fella. Last fella done really
He
well
done
too.
well too. Yeah, he did actually. Yeah.
For what? Like he took out my fucking mailbox and still haven't been paid for that. You faggot, cunt, whoever you are. Fuck you.
Well, we know who they are.
Yeah.
So we're not doing that.
No.
Oh, you're a nice guy. You're a nice guy.
Oh no, I'm pretty nice. I sent him a bill the other day.
Yeah, good. So you should. Anywho,
Well, I might have to beep out something. I was there back there too.
So what? He drove. What time did he go in there?
He went in there 11 o'clock Saturday night.
Did he?
Yeah. 11 o'clock Saturday night. His boss got a phone call saying, hey, I'm in a banana farm. Where do I go? And he's like, yeah, keep going. And then they'll turn right. And he kept driving. And then he rang him again and said, where do I go? Yeah, just keep going. And then that's where it ended up. Down fucking 3 kilometres into our farm.
And he got bogged, didn't he?
He got bogged right at the end, right where he got to. He finally got bogged
Did he?
right at the end.
Proper stuck?
If he went another 10 metres, we would have been in the Johnson River.
Wow.
And
That's awesome.
getting eaten by a crocodile.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So he rang up his boss. His boss said, well, you just stay with the truck and I'll see you in the morning.
Did he?
Yeah.
What a legend. That's exactly what you do. Why? And this was the same when old mate got stuck on your driveway. Why would you not, when you're driving a big piece of machinery, get out and go for a walk? Like, are these truckies that fat and lazy? They won't get out of the car and just go for a friggin' wander.
You know, you own a boat.
Mm.
And you go somewhere you don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
You worry about where you're going,
absolutely you
even
do.
if you've got a boat on the back. 'Cause if you've got to back even a boat out of somewhere, it can be a pain in the
That
ass
can be a
sometimes.
right pain in the ass, especially when there's not enough room to back it out.
And now you got another thing another trailer that's on behind that, so
That's
you got to triple back.
It's just, I still can't in my head figure out how they back B doubles. I can't. I cannot.
No. You got to swing to swing sort of thing.
To swing again.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
But even in this day and age, everyone's got a phone and everyone's got Google Earth.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. He could have had Google Earth, and he would have been like, zoom. The thing is, this driver was 65.
So he was still on a Nokia flip phone then.
and he was local.
Oh, no, he wasn't.
He was local. I'm not going to say his name, but he was local.
Is he unemployed now?
I think he lasted that day. He started that morning and finished that night. So,
Did he really?
So me and my brother out the reef, we got this phone call. Then we're fishing, and the whole time you're going to see my brother's like
Stewing on it.
stewing. He's like,
Yeah.
"Fuck, we're just going to have to fucking," and then we're going to have to unhook the tractor. We're going to have to get a bigger chain. We don't have a bigger chain. We're going to have to do this and do that. And then I said, "Just fuck up. We're fishing." Anyway, we're going along a bit further.
Fuck up, we're fishing.
And then he goes a bit further on, and then about 10 minutes later, yeah, and what if he's bogged? Yeah, and I don't know how to pull out a like B double. If he's full, we don't know if he's full or not. And I'm just like, let's just fucking go. Because it was middle of the day, we had like 12 fish. I said, let's just fucking go. I said, it's just running the whole day. This thing's just running through your head.
We're not going to achieve
So
anything.
let's just fucking go home. Anyway, we got home, drove down there. We had to unhook. It's like the castle, had to unhook, take the offsets off to get to the tractor and pull that off to get to another tractor. And then, look, but there's an hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unhooking all your big implements off your tractors and shit. By the time we got down there, they said, yeah, we'll get a chain. They got this one chain that can get my tractors out of a bog, my 2-ton tractors, not my 60-ton B double.
Yeah, right.
That we
So a piece of chain
acquired.
that I probably have at my house then. Yeah, gotcha. Yep.
So they hooked that up straight away, and I just said, everyone get the fuck out of there, get out of the way there. And he pulled it. And I think there's a video on, is it on
He did put it up.
Pub Emo?
Yeah.
Or on mine?
Yeah.
No, I think it was on Pub
Both,
Emo as well.
both.
Yeah.
Both.
So if you go on Pub Emo, you can watch all this, and the chain snapped straight away. The truck didn't even move. So then I went and got another chain, and doubled it up and doubled that chain up. So and effectively being 4 chains then, and slowly pulled it out. And I want to have a thing. Like I was trying to tell the driver of the truck, I said, "These truckies out there, if you can give me any information about this." If my tractor's pulling you backwards, should you have to be turning on a straight road? Turning your truck and turning and swiveling and doing all this? It's like,
No,
I said to him, just put your foot on the clutch and just let us pull you out.
Yeah, let the tractor do the work.
Because he's pulling him straight.
Yep.
And because it was a bit muddy and slippery, it was actually, he could steer it a bit. The tractor could pull it to where he wanted it to go because there was no grip under him.
Yep.
And I just said to him, can you just I said, do you have to steer? And he's like, yeah, man, I have to steer, eh? And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay. And then he's just like, and then he had to pull up and go forward a couple of times. And I felt saying to him, can you
just stop?
I just said, can you get out of the truck? I reckon we could pull this cunt out without you in the cunt. And
Was he in reverse? Like, was he?
Yeah, he was.
Putting
He
in
was
some
trying to
effort
reverse as well, but
Was
he
he?
didn't have to.
Yeah, yeah.
Truck,
And it would have
it's
been
a
easier
300
without it.
horsepower tractor. It's going to pull him
Yeah. How far did you have to go backwards with him?
about 1.5 k's.
Did ya?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was in the truck?
No, it was empty,
Oh,
Oh,
lucky.
okay.
but it was a refrigerated truck.
Where was it going to?
The river. It was going to drop off because the company, I won't name them, the company that uses
You want me
it
to?
don't actually, you can see it in the video. if you want. The company that uses them don't actually have a shed for B doubles or for that. So they use that industrial area to do all their unhooking and hooking up, which is a bit of a pain in the ass for every other one that
In the area.
Because
Yes.
today I actually drove down the road. There was probably 10 of their
Was there?
trailers on the side of the road, unhooking and hooking and people stopping and starting and blocking traffic and that sort of shit. And I'm like, get a fucking shed, cunt. Stop
Yeah,
being
get a yard.
tight asses.
Get a yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get something that can fucking sort you
Yeah,
out.
that's
And
exactly
How
right.
does the biosecurity work with the?
Oh, well, the thing is, he's in our farm, but yeah, he just went in our farm, you know, no biosecurity, he just
Very
drove
max
in. There.
washdown?
Yeah, he went through all the washdown and that.
Far out. Mate, that's so you sent them an invoice too.
They got an invoice.
Yeah, good.
They
Did
got
they pay it?
They got a Sunday pay one. I don't know if we've been paid, but they got a Sunday pay invoice too. So
Well, if that bloke's listening, you got a week. Because he's being real diplomatic. I won't be. You got a week. Fix that bill up. Oh, and the other ones from the other mob.
Yeah.
Fix your fucking bill up
Fix your
too,
bill
because
up
that's
too.
been 6 months.
Every time you see him, he's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah." No, that's There's people in
You
this
blender
world
remember,
like that.
all right? You
Yeah.
blender remember.
No, it's not Blenner. There's no Blenners.
Oh, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Sorry,
No.
my bad.
No, Blenners. They were.
No,
good
they're
in
the
this.
good ones. No,
Um,
it was.
It
We'll
was.
talk about it next week.
Yeah, I think he likes his steak braised.
That's right. I knew it was a B. I knew it was a B. Well played.
Yeah,
I
that's a
like
good
how you
one,
did
eh?
that. Yeah. Because it took me a while to come up with the first one that was wrong too.
Yeah, so that was my kind of the week.
Yeah,
anyway,
and I don't
had to
even-
go home from the reef early.
I don't even have. I can't. I've got nothing to compete with that. Nothing. Food poisoning. We had some food poisoning go through our house. That was about it.
Oscar might have a cunt of the week.
Oh,
Actually, I'll see if I can call him. He won't fucking answer because he didn't even want to come last week because he's that type of person. But
nothing worse than when a bloke doesn't want to come.
but we'll give him a call and we'll give him a chat about what happened. See if it happens anyway. He won't answer.
He's seen your.
We might. I've told him to.
It's 8:30 at night. He's probably in bed.
Hello, Quaid Auction.
All right, mate. I haven't give any premise of actually what's happened, so we're just going to go from the start here.
What's happened? Crikeys.
How fucking
I
deep's
thought
your
I had
voice?
mates. It's pretty deep in that tail.
What sort of voice have you got running here?
Big voice though when you don't want no one to things in your
Couldn't
ass.
figure out who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Now that was
Sound like Dixie.
Dixie.
What's going on, big fella? How you been?
Hey, not yourselves?
Yeah,
Oh,
not
yeah.
too shabby.
Kicking goals?
So we'll get straight into it. You put me onto a
Taking my
auction.
clothes off now.
You put me onto an auction down in Mission Beach. They had a guillotine for
Sure
sale.
did. What a mistake that was.
What's going on with your voice,
No.
lad? You're not this
Nothing.
big. You'll hear this back and think, "Fuck, I'm a weirdo."
Hey, it's all good, eh? Good.
That's
yeah,
better.
mate.
There we
That's
are.
better.
There's the Oscar we know. Righto. So yeah, I heard about this auction. I'm glad I didn't
Yep.
partake because it sounds like it went to custard real quick. Did you buy anything?
Yeah, mate. Oh,
This
I thought
this is
that I had
where the
mates and I
story
thought-
comes in.
Oh.
You haven't heard the story.
I haven't. No, go.
Okay. Well, here we go. So I didn't end up getting the guillotine because it ended up getting a bit expensive, but I left my phone on and I just kept listening to it. And
should have just.
there's so many bargains were coming up.
What'd you buy?
So there was these boat care products that kept popping up, and I was watching it, and then I was Googling what they're worth, and I was like, holy, they're actually, I don't want to say what they're worth because I'm going to try to sell them on here. But yeah, I actually put a bid on them, and I won a couple of them, and I was like, holy shit. I've just bought a whole lot of cleaning products and boat shine and all this shit for me. I don't even own a fiberglass boat.
How many did you buy?
Probably around 300 all up. Anyway, so I bought that, and Oscar's. I didn't even know Oscar was bidding at the time on the other stuff. We were probably fucking bidding against each other. It was probably
Just fucking bidding again. Yeah.
So
I'm only a engineering shop. I can't banana boys.
yeah, so it that happened, and anyway, I said I went to go pick it all up, and half the stuff wasn't there, and I was like, where is it? To the follower, and he goes, oh, I went over to one box, and half my shit was in someone else's stuff. They're like half stealing it, and I'm like, okay, I want that shit back. I've bid and won it, and he's like, yeah, okay, sorry about that. Anyway, we went to walk. I went out to get some more stuff, and my number was 223 or something, and it had this boat scrub stuff on it. Bilge scrub. What was it called?
Bilge.
Yeah, and I said to him, I didn't. That's my number there, but I'm pretty sure I didn't bid on that. And even on the thing, it didn't. It said something else. And he's like, "Oh, mate, since you got fucked around, it's your number. Just take it." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I grabbed it all anyway. I was driving out, and then driving along the road, and I rang Oscar up on the road, and I said to him, "Yeah, I just got a heap of shit, and I think I flogged someone else's fucking shit." And what do you say?
I just didn't know because I just put on it. Just put all $200, put auto. Didn't know down Townsville, and then I checked my email. I got an email in Quade's email. Didn't take nothing. And then Tony rang and he goes, just taking someone else's gear. Not a fucking taking. And I said, pulled up on the side of the road and said, and I said, I won 40 bilge cab. Yes, that's what I fucking took. You thieving bastard.
So it's cutting out while we're talking to you. It fucking sounds like shit for some reason on this fucking roadcaster. So what happened was I rang him up and said, "Oh, this stuff fucking I've won it and I've stole it. It's pretty much stole it." And he goes, "Oh, I was supposed to go to that auction. I fucking forgot all about it. I'll see what I got." Anyway, we got on there and he said, "What stuff did you steal?" I said, bilge fucking stuff. He goes, "Cunt, that's mine."
He pinched all of your gear, bro.
He pinched trip anyway.
You can't trust these banana farmers.
Yeah, but I fucking saved him a trip to Mission Beach from Cairns.
Look, hey, there's little wins, little wins. So was there anything you actually intentionally bought, or was it just shit you ended up with by accident?
I got some good stainless sheets.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's all right. Enough to build a boat?
Oh, stainless boat.
Won't rust.
A bait board.
The biggest bait board known to man.
You're going to listen back and hear yourself on air. Your voice sounds like shit. I don't know what's going on here. So we might let you go for a bit before you get embarrassed about how you sound.
But I'll send you some.
Okay, guys.
I'll send you some dick pics shortly.
Send them.
Yeah, can't guarantee it'll be my dick, but it'll be a dick at least.
Make sure it's not too still living on dial-up out here.
Yeah, it sounds like you are.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, you're going to have to get you on the podcast anyway, and then everyone will get to hear what your real voice sounds like.
Yeah. No drums. All right.
See you, Russ.
Toro. Yeah.
Ta-da.
So what the fuck are you going to do with 300 bottles of
Boat shine.
I'm
selling them on here.
Okay, so if anyone wants some boat shine for fiberglass, is it?
Yeah, fiberglass boat shine.
Fiberglass boat polish, hit us up.
It's Aurora products. So check out Aurora boat shine and Google it. It's about $42 American. At the moment, that's $1,000 with the tariff. Yeah, Aurora boat shine.
Premium boat shine.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's one you only have to use one a year.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. See, $42 US. Look at that. And I've got about 150 of them.
Do you really? Do you really have that many? That is so funny.
The package might be a bit water damaged, but it's still got the products is what you want.
And the cap is still sealed. So hit us up. We will accept wristies, cartons of piss. What else?
I'm actually going
More
to
so
have a
wristies.
chat with one of our sponsors at Coastal Marine, and we might do a little like sale. So it's $42 US. We might do 3 for like 40 Australian, something like that. Let's do some bargains. Let's get some bargain hunting out there.
I'll take one off you.
Yeah. You got $42 US?
Nah, no way. It's inflation.
Yeah, so one of our sponsors is Coastal Marine and Outdoors in Innisfail, so you need to go see Joel and the crew and the
they'll
team.
sort you out with everything that you need. Boating, camping, fishing, hunting, firearms, that sort of stuff. They've got it all there, and they're also our local Mercury and Stacer dealership. So
and
if
they
you're
also
after a new tub,
they also sell boat care products like Aurora Boat Shine.
which I did read too. I think with that Aurora boat
really
shine,
good.
you can even use it on like your stone bench tops. Do you know anyone that does stone bench tops?
Yeah, I think
Right angle cabinets. Right Jingle.
So you know what to do.
See Mark and the crew because they know what to do.
Servicing all the cans.
And the rest of NQ.
Located in Gordon Vale.
North of Innisfail.
The cabin's off the braille.
Their kitchens are on sale.
If you want a bitchin' kitchen,
Just flex with it, or just flex with the desk,
go see Mark and the crew.
and they'll sort the rest.
Yeah, after that, if you see the thing he put up where he bagged us out there, he got
Yeah, I
us
know.
good, eh? Little bastard.
Little bastard.
Yeah, we put a clip up the other day and showed Mark getting stuck into us saying that he's pretty much getting less phone calls since he's done the podcast.
But he's also booked out until September, so I think he's full of shit.
But he's also right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. And if you've got a commercial shop space or bar, club, strip joint, bowls club, anything like that, Total Fit Outs.
Fit Outs, cans. Go see Kerrod and the crew because they know what to do. They'll fulfill your dream.
They'll fulfill
with
your
some
dreams.
poo-poo.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So if you've got anything like that you need sorted out, these guys are leaders in what they do. They're based all around the country and in New Zealand, but they take inspiration from everywhere.
Yeah.
So if you've got anything like that needs for even just an office space or whatever, even if you want a really gaudy looking bedroom, hit them up. They'll do it. I'll do it.
If you've got a RD, like, well, I can't say rape dungeon.
Oh, Jesus.
So I didn't say it, allegedly.
We'll be beeping that out. At the moment, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a few blokes podcasts around the country getting crucified at the moment. Let's try and stay off that list, bro, because I've noticed when the ladies get a bee in their bonnet about a bloke's podcast, whoo, it's not us, okay? That is not us.
Oh,
you lost it.
No, I did see another one. This is a big heartfelt one out for the Queensland flood victims at the moment. Out in Southeast Queensland.
Yep.
Yes, for some reason, like Knuckles has been saying a lot on
and it hasn't been talked about enough. Not
enough.
And we just did it to ourselves. So sincerest apologies. We got talking about the US and all that sort of stuff. But there has not been enough coverage of these floods on TV, on anything. It's almost like they're not happening.
And the one that was pissing me off the most is that those people have a lot of working dogs and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And they were rescuing them and telling them they had to leave their dogs behind.
Yeah.
The dog's pretty much a part of your family.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's when you're got a working dog, that's pretty much your employee and your family member you got to leave at the fucking site.
And for folks like that on properties like that, it's the best employee you've got.
Yeah.
So you take the fucking
by
dog.
far.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, and did you see old mate that went looking for his dogs by chopper? And he found four of his working. He lost a couple, but he found four of his working dogs on this little island that had been left.
Kept the cattle
and
up
they
on
had
there.
some cattle with them. They had about 30 head of cattle still there, and they were tormented-looking cattle too. They weren't going to move fucking anywhere. Did you see them? They were just like, oh, I'd rather swim than stay here with these assholes. But no, there's been a huge amount of loss out west. Some farms have lost all their livestock and that sort of thing. And there's a lot of farmers talking that they won't recover from this.
Yeah.
That they'll just have to walk away.
If anyone's doing like hay drops or anything like that, you see anyone like people talking about they're going to pay for a truck to go out and drop hay out there, definitely put your money towards that right now.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the main ones is all the people and the cattle and all that sort of whatever cattle they got left.
Yep.
Need to be fed because all the grass will be fucked that's under that water for so long.
And if those cattle don't get fed, we don't get fed. Keep that in mind.
That's right.
And with what's gone on in the US and putting tariffs on our beef and all that sort of stuff at the moment, we have never more so needed to get by all our farmers. We really do. And that's not just livestock, that's agriculture. It's the whole works at the moment.
If anyone's got a big truck that can fit a lot of bananas in them, I'll fill it up for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a big tip truck?
Yep.
That wants to use any type of, we mulch it up into small stuff.
Yep.
If you've got a truck and you want to head out that way, we'll fill it up for you to the brim.
Yeah, let's get on board with that, actually.
Yeah.
We could drum one up. I'm sure we can find a couple of trucks around here that are happy to do a 2-day trip down there and dump
even
off some
if we
feed.
can, pay that person to drive out there, we'll find a way to pay.
Yeah, and I'm sure
there'd
there'd be other farms around here that would do the same thing.
Oh, definitely.
There's plenty of farms around here.
We've got heaps of bananas. We've got heaps
Isn't
of
that
food.
right? Yeah. So instead of us just chucking it all in a pit and letting it go to waste, if someone's keen to bring their truck down here, let's get on it.
Yep, we'll give you all the product.
Yeah, absolutely. So on that note, we'll leave you with that. Think about it. If you know someone, no bullshit, get on to us, and we'll start sending them down.
Yep.
Good idea, Taz. That's a freaking good idea.
Yeah.
You come up with them every now and then. Once a year, you come up with them.
Once.
Twice.
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 Boat shine too.
Once.
Twice a year. Yeah, the boat shine. Yeah. We'll even send some boat shine down with them. Anyway, that's me. I'm done.
And Alamatron, that's another one. It's a coating that you could put on your aluminium trailers and anything that you make and it'll keep it shiny. So Alamatron is the other one. Aurora Alamatron. He's going to bring it up.
Almatron Electronics. Allah.
Yeah,
Matron.
Alumatron.
Oh, LU.
Yeah.
Ah, there it is. Look at that.
And
Looks like
that
good
is just
stuff.
painted on there, and it gives you 10 years of life on the outside of your. And it's really good stuff because it comes from an auction.
And if
It has to be.
and if you're happy to donate your time and truck, you can have some Alumatron as well.
Yeah,
if it's got an aluminium truck
if you've got
body,
a big shiny aluminium truck, we will be able to donate that and get it nice and shiny.
let's make it happen. Let's get on the Insta and make it happen.
Yeah,
All right, I gotta go. I'm done. I need to go and go to bed. It's late. It's past your bedtime for sure.
definitely.
It's almost coming up on mine. All right, beautiful people. Thanks for tuning in. 3 weeks to the podcast Royale.
Yep.
Be there or be square. We'll see you soon. We'll see you next
Exciting
week
times.
for a yarn.
Dun, 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 dun.